Welcome to Healthy and Clean Cooking with Chef Alycia. I studied at Le Cordon Bleu. I've managed restaurants throughout the country. I've consulted for restaurants in LA, creating their menus. I'm a personal chef, and I created a meal prep company called Raise the Bar Clean Eats. I specialize in customizing comfort meals for clients with dietary restrictions. I've reversed diabetes, lowered cholesterol, even helped prep for organ transplants. Through all of this knowledge, I've learned a lot about the fad diets like SIBO and keto. Name it, and I've probably dabbled in it. So it led me to author a book called Fad Recipes, which stands for Frequency Aligned Diet. Through this, I believe that if you follow these protocols or ingredient lists, you could stay healthy or make yourself healthy again. So I'm here to introduce you to the same food you're used to eating with a little bit of tweaks and a lot of knowledge about ingredients. So enjoy. Okay, this is my stuffed squash inspired by Martha Stewart and Ina Garten. I took both their recipes and I combined them to make a really yummy low-carb appetizer. So first we're going to prepare the squash. You need to make sure it's cleaned and dried. I cut the ends off and then I cut it lengthwise and I scoop out the seeds. You want to be very careful not to break it. It's going to be like a little boat. Pretty simple like that. We're going to take our pan. I like to use unbleached parchment paper because it's the healthiest. And we're going to rub them with some sun-dried tomatoes that comes in oil. You want to look for something that doesn't have additives in it. Let's rub a little. Gives it tons of taste. And then you put them cut side down. So we're going to put that in the oven on 375 for 10 minutes. We're going to come over here and do our filling. We're going to have sun-dried tomatoes, sliced up. Again, no additives. They like to add things for color, and that's not necessary. So the darker the tomato, the more natural it's going to be. Do a little bit more. Okay. Then we're going to add some almond flour. This is very good for cholesterol. Same with the walnuts. Some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, some parsley, salt, and some basil. I like to just tear it up. Big pieces are nice for flavor. And then we mix it all together. You could also add some pepper if you'd like. We want some more oil because this is what's going to hold it together. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is really good for you. Some people take it every day just as a shot. So this is what's going to hold it together. Let's do a little bit more. And that's what your filling is going to look like. So then after your squash is done, welcome back. Our squash just cooked on 375 for 8 minutes, and now we're going to stuff it. You don't want it to be overcooked because you want it to still, it's going to cook a little bit more. So you want it to have a bite to it. And you just fill these up, and just like that, step 2, this goes in the oven for about 5 minutes because it's just going to crisp up the nuts. So we'll be right back. I'm like shaking my hands. And we're back. So this is the squash, the stuffed squash after it came out of the oven. Now we're just going to plate it. I like to do 2, 1 of each. And then we're going to just make it look pretty and top it with some basil. I like to throw it all over the plate. Cheese, freshly grated Parmesan cheese to put over it. So delicious. Okay. And then just some parsley. I like the look of the tear versus the chopping. There you go. Welcome back. We're going to be making a blackened chicken to go on top of our spaghetti squash carbonara. So first we're going to make sure the chicken is patted dry. I like to use unbleached paper towels. They're the healthiest version. And now we're going to take our blackening seasoning, which is garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper, and I like smoked paprika. Just sprinkle it on there. I like to rub it in, make sure it gets in there. Flip it over. All nice and covered. And then we're going to take organic extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to spray the pan. Plop them on there, spray them again. And then we're going to put it in the oven on 375 for 10 minutes. And we'll be right back. Welcome back. So now we're going to roast our spaghetti squash. We're choosing spaghetti squash instead of pasta because it's healthier for you. If you have diabetes or high cholesterol, it's a great substitute. And it actually looks like spaghetti. So you're just going to cut it in half, put it face down, and then I like to do a little bit of oil. And then we put this in the oven on 375 for about 40 minutes. You're going to feel it be a little soft. We're back and we're starting to make the spaghetti squash carbonara. The spaghetti squash has been roasted and pulled out of the oven, so you have to be very careful because it's hot. My little hack is to cut the inside with scissors all the way around it. Makes it so much easier for scooping out and less messy. Just like that. And you get all the seeds. Okay. Then you take a fork and you just run it through it, and it comes out looking actually more like angel hair pasta. But we call it spaghetti squash. And so we're just going to want to have that ready. And you want it to be hot because it helps with cooking the egg in the sauce. For this dish, we're going to use about this much. Looks like 2 cups. Okay. Next, we're going to start making the bacon. I like to put the pan on medium because you never want to char anything or overcook it because then it releases chemicals and it's just really bad for the body. It creates inflammation. And it's really important to use minimally processed bacon because it doesn't have additives, no sugar, no extra nitrates. All those have been linked to cancer. So minimally processed bacon in moderation is okay. The key to life is all about moderation. So we're going to let this cook a little. And a classic carbonara sauce, the main ingredients are really the bacon grease, egg yolks, and Parmesan cheese. A really nice Parmesan cheese that's ideally sheep or goat because it's easier on digestion. It has less lactose, it has more nutrients. So you can usually find those at Sprouts or Whole Foods, stores like that. We're also going to be adding in some peas, which are super healthy. We could also poach an egg. The bacon is just about ready. We pulled the chicken out of the oven. It looks so delicious. And so now we're going to finish making the sauce for the carbonara. So once the bacon's done, you're going to add some peas. We're gonna mix that up a little. And then we're gonna take our egg yolks and our cheese. We're gonna get rid of these. We're gonna mix up the egg yolks. And we're gonna put in a decent amount of cheese, because you want it to get like really pasty. Ooh, those look so good. You could also use turkey bacon if you wanted. Just again, minimally processed. No added sugars or chemicals. I want to do a little bit more parm. The more parm, the better. Then we're going to add our spaghetti squash. We're going to make sure it's nice and hot. I need to make sure that this is up high. Everything needs to stay nice and hot, which is really important. Okay, now we have everything added and we're just going to cook the sauce, the carbonara sauce, which was the egg yolk and the Parmesan cheese. A really good quality Parmesan cheese. And we're just gonna mix it up, and you wanna do it on and off the heat to temper it so the eggs don't scramble and it becomes more creamy. Oh, so yummy. Growing up on the East Coast, we used to have pasta carbonara for all of our special occasions like Christmas and New Year's. It was like the best part about it. And now I get to enjoy it, just a healthier version. And see how it's getting creamy. The color's turning a little whiter. And don't be scared of eggs because they're very healthy for you with protein. Again, if you have it in moderation, it's perfectly fine. All right, that's all cooked and we're gonna plate it now. Usually I lift it and tilt it, but it's a heavy pan. Gonna build it like this. And then we're gonna put lots of fresh cracked pepper. A little more freshly grated cheese. And then we're also going to use our chicken. You could use a thin chicken or a thick, whichever you prefer. You want to cut against the grain. Scoop it up. Put it on here. And then we have the option to add a poached egg on top. But this is our beautiful spaghetti squash carbonara. We're going to be making my #1 seller. It's a peanut butter and jelly chia seed pudding. And it's great for my clients that have diabetes or high cholesterol because it works for both of them. It's super fibrous. It's low carb, and you could also adjust the sweetener if you want it less sweet. First, I start with frozen blueberries, and I just cook them down on the burner. And then I take an immersion blender and I just puree it. And I'll put it in the refrigerator in a jar, and this is what it ends up looking like. I put it at the bottom because this is going to be a layered dessert. Some people also use this for breakfast. It's like a great snack to have because again, it's low carb. It's super filling. You could eat it a little bit throughout the day to keep you going. So now we're gonna come over here and work on the chia base. I'm gonna start with peanut butter. I actually found out that they're legumes, not nuts, but they look and taste like the nut family, so that's why they name them peanut. So now we're gonna take some out, put that in. It's also a good healthy fat, so it'll balance out your triglycerides and lower your bad fat. Then we're going to add in some vanilla and some honey. Sometimes my clients like to use allulose. It's kind of like the new monk fruit. Unsweetened coconut milk. I make everything unsweetened because it's just so much easier to be able to count your carbs. when you add it yourself. Okay, I'm gonna put that in and I'm gonna blend it real quick. And we're gonna check for consistency. I want it to be a little bit thicker. It's really up to you. Some people like it thinner. Some people like it super thick. We'll add a little bit more. And I also have clients that like to use almond butter for if they ever have peanut allergies. Okay, that's the consistency we're going for. So it's like thicker, not as milky. I like to use coconut milk because I don't taste the coconut. Some people are like, I'm totally against coconut milk, but they don't ever know that it's coconut because it doesn't taste like it when I use it. Okay, after that's blended, you're gonna add your chia seeds. And the trick to chia seeds, you have to shake them rapidly to get them activated so they absorb all the moisture. They say to do it for like 20, 30 seconds. Sometimes I'll do it like 15 seconds and that's just fine. Chia seeds are a super healthy fat. Like if you read the label, you're like, oh wow, they're so fatty, but it's all good fats that you want. And fibrous, so it's gonna keep you full really long. So we shake it up. And you could either let it set in the refrigerator so it absorbs, or you could pour it right on top of your blueberries. For the sake of the show, we're gonna pour it right on top of the blueberries. Just like that. And then I put the lid on it. I put it in the refrigerator and it'll firm up in about an hour or two. And this is my famous chia seed pudding. I make all different kinds, but this is my #1 seller. And it's gonna hopefully be in a grocery store near you soon. This is my #1 seller. I make all different kinds and hopefully it'll be in a grocery store near you soon. Okay, so today we did our Martha Stewart Ina Garden inspired stuffed squash. It was our nutty sun-dried tomato filling. And then for our entree, we did our spaghetti squash carbonara with our blackened chicken. And for our dessert, we did our chia seed pudding. It's peanut butter and jelly. And my inspiration for these dishes was to help you find joy in eating again. If you feel like you have to restrict yourself in any way, you can really still eat really healthy, yummy food. So the stuffed squash was great for diabetes and cholesterol. The spaghetti squash carbonara was great for diabetes. And our chia seed pudding was great for diabetes and cholesterol. Thank you for tuning in. You could find me at rtb.cleaneats on Instagram, and see you next time.